Hey everyone, I'm Tiffany. You found us on the Wise Skies channel, and I have my friend Celeste Brooks with us today for a very special edition of Free Tarot Friday. Celeste you can find at astrologybyceleste.com. And what we're going to do today is a special tag team. So I'm going to use my tarot deck. Celeste is going to use her moon deck. But before we get started, we're going to go through every single sign. So everybody's going to get a reading, Aries all the way through Pisces. But because we are astrology buddies, I wanted to give you a little sneak peek at what's going on in the skies right now this weekend, and also promote Celeste's upcoming class, which is Moon Mastery. And it starts on February 24th. So you still have a little bit of a time to sign up if you've been on the fence. I'm going to ask you about that, Celeste. But before I turn the reins over, Celeste is a Taurus sun, an Aries moon, and a Cancer rising. And she hosts these really cool free webinars that you can learn astrology, learn the moon. Her Instagram account is how I met her. She's got a really cool account at Astrology by Celeste. And we were just talking before we got going about what's going on is Jupiter is sextiling Uranus this weekend. So why is everybody freaking out? Because as Celeste just pointed out that the North Node is smack on fixed star Algol, right? So we were talking about this sense of urgency, this sense of make it or break it. And why is that happening during this big Jupiter-Uranus sextile? So what were you saying, Celeste? What did you see in the planets this week?
Yeah, so we had a full moon on Wednesday, early morning, and it was, sun was at 27 of Aquarius, the moon at 27 of Leo, and both the sun and the moon were squaring the north and the south node. So it made a fixed cross in the sky. Fixed energy is like tense. And the north node's on fixed star Algol, the beheading star, the star of deep female intensity and passion. And yeah, so people are at a crossroads this week. People have been making fated decisions. People have been feeling like really intense things coming up through them. A full moon's already intense, and then you add that cross to it, and that faded quality. And yeah, it's been a big deal. And I talk a lot about these larger moon cycles. So we have a new moon, full moon each month. There's also 27-month cycle where this full moon was seeded a year and a half ago. And so things have been building over this last year and a half about this energy. And if it hits your chart, if you have planets right around 27 of the fixed signs, you may be really impacted this week. So just know that you know it's here. That energy is here for you to pull you forward in your fated journey.
I love that. Pull you forward in your fated journey. You're not going to do the same thing. You know what I've been telling people this week is there's nothing in this energy that says do the same thing, keep doing the same thing. You know, there's nothing about that. And I think that people look at that, at those easy things that we can grab onto, like that full moon or Mercury retrograde or the new moon or whatever. And those are great anchors. But I think, you know, knowing the larger moon cycle can be so beneficial, guys. And so Celeste, will you tell them about what you're teaching in Moon Mastery so they can understand the flow of it?
Yeah, so my Moon Mastery 101 program is a 6-week program, which I teach live on Zoom, and it's interactive. And I talk about, it's like intended to deepen your connection with the moon. So I'm a Cancer rising, and I have found that sinking into the moon, just even the transiting moon every day, knowing what's happening in the sky, how it impacts me and my chart, has been life-changing, as well as, you know, deeply understanding my natal moon that I was born with, the conversations it's having, the moon phase you were born under. And the moon phase is the relationship between the sun and the moon. Was it waxing? Was it waning? What phase was it in? Also has a big impact on your personality. Your progressed moon, which speaks to emotionally, where are you right now in your life? And moon phase, like, are you in a growing, waxing phase, or are you releasing? People often come to me when they're in their last quarter of their progressed moon phase, or the balsamic of the progressed moon phase, where they feel like they just feel lost, but it's a time when you're emptying out. And understanding this can be really give you such a deep understanding of yourself, insight into the subconscious world, because the moon is all about your subconscious behaviors and the decisions you make and the reactivity you have. And yeah, as well as learning how to use the moon phases, both these smaller and larger cycles, in order to manifest exactly what you want in your life. I have over 25 years of sales, marketing, and business development experience in Fortune 500 companies, and I use the moon phases to retire early from my career and be a full-time astrologer, coach, and intuitive.
So isn't that fascinating, guys? Like, don't you want to retire early with the phases of the moon, right? So just a little bit more about her class, and then we're going to go into our readings. We're going to tag team the readings this week. One of the cool, you have 6 interactive classes. They will be recorded and sent out if you can't make it live, but I always encourage, if you can make Celeste's class live, then do it, because she will spend so much special time with you if she can. Specifically, you know, with your questions. And so one of the classes that really stood out for me is the 4th in your series, and it's called Mother of Dragons. And I thought you could give us a little sneak peek of that one.
Yeah, eclipses bring in the Mother of Dragons is about the eclipses, that class. And eclipses bring in great beginnings and great endings in our lives, especially when they're activating our angles, the ascendant, midheaven, descendant, and IC. Also, when they're activating our planets, or when we're having nodal returns or reversals or things like that. So understanding that 18-month cycle, which is like an evolution, the nodes are what trigger eclipses, and the lunar nodes, and they change every 18 months. And we just had the nodes change into the North Node in Taurus. We're supposed to simplify, get embodied, enjoy simple pleasures. And the South Node is in Scorpio. So everyone's going through this new kind of evolution. They changed January 18th, and the first eclipse is going to be April 30th. Yeah.
And so you're going to come back and teach our members a special class on that particular eclipse.
Yes.
So, I'm stoked about it. I love learning from you and listening to you. And thank you for joining me today. Let's get our decks out and get juicy. Guys, today I'm using the Tarot of Mystical Moments. Thank you to Shelly for this beautiful gift. And I love this deck, and I know that a lot of you guys do too. And which one are you going to use?
I'm going to use Queen of the Moon Oracle by Stacy DeMarco. Oh, and I forgot to say that Wise Skies members get a special discount if they join Moon Mastery. So Tiffany has a special link for you. So make sure you use that when you check out the course.
Yes, thank you. And that link will be here in the description on YouTube. It's also on Instagram if you're over there watching there. So thank you for that discount for our folks. I know there's a lot of metaphysical students that are going to appreciate that very much. So, okay, let's clear the deck. We're going to start with Aries, and Celeste and I are going to pull a card each, and we're just going to tune in and ask, what is it that our Aries friends need to know for the weekend ahead? This could be Aries Sun, Aries Moon, or Aries Rising. And we're just asking for some special clarity, guidance, wisdom, a little nod from the universe to help you know that you're on the right track. Ace of Swords is what fell out for me. And so to me, that's about thinking a new thought, having a clear perspective, getting a new idea, activating something in the mental realm that is like that Ace of Swords energy. You get clarity, you have truth, you've got to be honest with yourself and others. And there's an innocence about it too. It's not a harsh, it's not like the Queen of Swords where you've got to be so harsh that you're getting nervous about it hurting other people. There's an innocence and a freshness to this card. So let's marry it with a moon card.
Yes, and I love that for Jupiter is sextile Uranus. So be open for downloads with that card. Yeah, and then I got the fruition card. So the efforts you have been putting into what you have been wanting to grow, you may start seeing some new unexpected and surprising bounty over the next week or so, because Jupiter is sextile Uranus. It happened exactly yesterday. Jupiter brings abundance. With Uranus, it can be unexpected, and Uranus is in Taurus, so it can be unexpected, even material abundance. So yeah, think about all the seeds you planted a year and a half ago, and what has come through fruition from the Leo perspective of my own self-expression and related to the Aquarius group.
So I want to give you guys an example of how this is playing out. I talked to an Aries friend yesterday, and she has had an idea to do kind of a form of wellness spa that is an expression of herself and all of the network that she has. And so this is a great example of that, right? Like, she's using fresh starts with the power of the planets, with that things coming to fruition. Awesome. And abundance, right? You said abundance.
Yes, abundance. Yes, Jupiter.
All right, so let's clear the deck for our Taurus friends. What is it that our Taurus folks need to hear for the weekend ahead? Just some entertainment, practical advice, or guidance that helps them feel heard and seen by the universe. Okay. I usually just like visualize the symbol as I'm shuffling. So that's why it takes me a second, guys.
I'd like to shuffle.
All right, we get a Hierophant. So in in traditional tarot, so you being a Taurus, maybe you can speak to why this is powerful for you. Traditional tarot, it was represented as a pope, right? So to me, in my practice, it's the things that you're devoted to, the things that you're married to, the things that you're committed to spiritually as well. And so what does it mean to you?
So a spiritual teacher as well, a mentor, is the Hierophant, and it is the astrological correspondence for the tarot card. Hierophant is the sign of Taurus. So this is the Taurus card in the deck. And so I could be your Hierophant if you like. Come join me for Moon Mastery. Yes, I could. Yeah, and I did a 21 card reading like a month ago, and in the last row, the first card of the last row was the Hierophant.
The Hierophant. I love
yes,
it.
I love it. Yeah, let me pull.
You can't make this stuff up, you know? Like,
can't. And my card is action. Taurus, this is our year and a half, because the North Node is in our sign. The North Node going through your sign can bring new allies, new unexpected opportunities. And yeah, but you don't want to let them pass you by. You need to take action. And now all the planets are direct until April 29th. So this is the best time of the year to push your goals forward, like learning to use the moon cycles and really manifest. The actions you take can really bring some nice things, because also right now Mars and Venus are in Capricorn at 18 degrees Capricorn. So that is taking actions to bring your desires into the material world. And with Jupiter and Pisces right now, that's a nice sextile to Taurus. It is our time to shine.
Okay, yes. So that sounds great. I love it. All right, let's clear the deck for Gemini and see what it is that our Geminis need to hear for the weekend ahead. Some simple advice or guidance, specially tailored for Geminis watching. Just clearing the deck for Gemini. Okay. All right, we get the Hanged Man reversed, right? So this would be upright, but the Hanged Man reversed. For some of our Geminis, maybe you've stalled out on something. Maybe you've waited a little too long. Maybe it's that similar message of getting in action and doing something. Sometimes we get into analysis paralysis and overthink things and kick tires to the point of it causes anxiety, you know? And as you guys have heard me say a lot, I had some really wise advice where it's like, pray about it, make a decision and move on, right? And so to me, this is like, get an acceptance with what you're seeing is accurate, and go ahead and begin to move forward with your decision. This isn't about hanging out and waiting. This isn't about patience. This isn't about slowing down and getting curious. This is like you've killed it and it's time to go, is how I see that. How do you read it?
I love that because the moon is in Virgo, and Virgo squares
Right.
Gemini.
Right.
They're both signs ruled by Mercury, the winged messenger, decision maker. I think that's perfect. Virgo, that earth sign, you've been thinking about it. Now
Mhm.
get practical and go.
What are you
Yeah,
gonna do, right?
I love that. And I got balance. Oh, how interesting with the hangman and balance, because I see like Libra as well, another air sign in this card. So yes, you've been weighing the decisions, and now it's time to, make sure that there's a balanced approach to how you move forward, how you express any decisions you made to other people. But yeah, it's time to stop the cogitating, I think, and move forward.
All right, Geminis and Taurus, we're looking at you. What are you doing? What you
Yeah,
gonna do with
yeah.
your weekend? Okay, so let's clear the deck also for our Cancer friends. What is it that our Cancer friends need to hear? Just some practical advice or guidance. Can you hear my cat on the audio? You can. He's very mad because the dogs are outside and he would really like to join them.
Oh.
But he is not an outside kitty. He was, we got him a year ago. And so he's kind of grown up in Free Tarot Fridays. All right. So King might come join us. But right now, let's clear the deck for Cancers. Just taking a deep breath in. If you're receiving, softening the shoulders and the inner ear so that you can hear with an ear of the heart. Okay. All right, we get the Magician for our Cancers. So with Celeste, she's got Cancer rising. So I guess we're doing Free Tarot Friday for you. We're just hitting all of your planets and angles and everything. And so the Magician for our Cancers watching, this is really about turning lead into gold. This is making something out of nothing. This is pulling the rabbit out of the hat. The Magician in traditional tarot has that figure 8 symbol, that symbology of infinity, of usually he has one hand up and one hand down, like as above, so below. What you're thinking about, you're bringing into the real world, right? So again, a little nod to the Moon Mastery class. The figure 8 we see in nature too, right? In my bees, in my bee yard, the bees will fly out and make a figure 8 as an orientation flight. So they're orienting themselves to the world through this very alchemical symbol that we see throughout nature. The Magician is the first card. It's number 1 in tarot, but it's not the first card, right? 0, the Fool, is the first card. So some of our Cancers might have be coming out of a period of taking a leap of faith, and in that period of things coming forward and seemingly to alchemize out of thin air. This is a good time to work your magic, Cancers, right?
Yeah, I love that. I love the Magician card. Yes, I do. And I also pulled resilience.
Ooh,
Yeah. So as you are manifesting, working your magic, that, there will sometimes be some setbacks.
Mhm.
But how can you have the resilience to keep going forward despite any temporary setbacks and turn that lead into gold for yourself? I love this.
Okay, yeah. So
Okay, so.
resilience can be one of those like 10 of wands feeling where you're doing
Mhm.
all of the work, where it's like a heavy load. And so sometimes it is a heavy load, guys, but also it's only heavy if you pick it up and carry it, right? So just being aware with what you have to carry and what might not be yours to carry, right? In other
Oh
words,
yes, Cancer trying to take care of everyone.
everyone.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, let's clear the deck for Leos. Just clearing for Leos. What is it that our Leo friends need for some guidance and some practical advice for the weekend ahead? Clearing for our Leos. Okay. I like to shuffle All right, so we get the Five of Pentacles reversed here. This is a card that's better reversed than it is upright. So I don't know if it's good news. Upright, it would be overcoming some grief, some inner turmoil, some conflict, not really knowing what chess pieces are going where, not having the confidence to just cry your way through it, and knowing that we can really only cry for about 20 minutes. But when it's reversed like this, to me, it's like you've overcome something that's been a sadness for you. So there could be a recent loss, there could be an acknowledgement of an ending, but this is a decision that you've had to make inside of you. And so it might not have come to fruition in the material world yet. Just inside of yourself, you've decided, okay, I've had enough time with this sadness and I'm ready for the next chapter. I'm not going to stay angry. This can be a card of forgiveness when it's reversed like this. So I would love your take, or to see what moon card goes with this too.
Yeah, well, in the Rider-Waite version, it's like, it looks like two people outside of a church and they're out in the cold. So it's like coming in from the cold with that card reverse. Yeah. So if you've had setbacks financially as well with the reverse Five of Pentacles, it could be recovery from difficult financial times. So yeah, that's a good card, Leo. Leos have been through it because Saturn's in Aquarius. So at some point between, the end of 2020 and like March of 2023, they're facing an opposition from Saturn, and Saturn can bring some coldness, some separateness, some feelings of loneliness or isolation, or like delays and restrictions. So Leos have been facing that. So yeah, I love that card for Leos. And yeah, this card is realization. This is so perfect because we just had that full moon that was seeded back in August of 2020. And then there was a first quarter moon at about the same degree, which was 27 Leo. So the sun would have been in Taurus, the moon in Leo. Like something may have popped into your life then. And now 9 months later, with the sun in Aquarius, the moon in Leo, like all is revealed. What have you realized this week, Leo? And if you haven't realized it yet, get quiet, make space, because there may be something coming through that is here for you to see, understand, so that you can make that crossroads decision.
And what have you realized that you might want to let go of that is kind of weighing you down in a way?
Yes. Yeah, it could be. Yeah. I love that deck, Tiffany. What's the name again?
Okay, it's the Tarot of Mystical Moments. And it was
it.
a gift from a client and a friend who is a tarot collector, and I've just really adopted it. Usually I have like another standard deck that I like using, the Golden Tarot by Cat Black. But I have really, this has been kind of my travel deck that I've really enjoyed too. All right, so we had this one fall out, so I'm going to go with it. We're on Virgo, and we have our moon in Virgo right now. And we get a Tower card, and this is not insignificant, right? The Tower card, to me, it's like if you haven't built something on a proper foundation, it's going to crumble. The Tower card can feel like your world's coming undone, that things are falling to pieces. In our yoga philosophy, this also reminds me of Shiva a lot. If Shiva loves you very much, he'll take everything away from you, And it's a feeling of destruction and loss. But what's on the other side of destruction and loss is that closeness to your creator, closeness to your spiritual walk, because it tends to be all you have left. And it doesn't have to be a stripping away of everything, but there's something that is not set up for a lasting success. And so I feel like the Tower card can represent what needs to be rebuilt. So you might have some awarenesses around what is not on solid ground here.
Yeah. The Tarot also can just difficult insights that come to you, that decisions you need at this crossroads you need to make, but you've been avoiding, may come up. Oh, and look at this darkness. So this is really a time for Virgos. This is the long night moon. So really a time to go inward, Virgos, and find in the shadows that we don't necessarily want to look at, but it's important to look at the things we try to disown in ourselves in order to find the true wisdom, and how we really need to move forward. And the moon is here to support you, the Virgo moon.
Ouch. So everybody text your Virgo friends.
Tell
Tell them you love them. Tell them they got this. This is a challenging combo here, right? So give them some encouragement.
yeah, but there is gold in the shadows. Yeah.
Right. There is. All right. After Virgo, I didn't skip anybody, right? Okay, comes Libra. So let's clear the deck for Libras. Any of our Libras watching? Libra, sun, moon, or rising. What is the best card that represents some advice or wisdom for our Libras? Just lost half my deck down here. Let me reshuffle. All right. Okay. All right, Libra has the Queen of Wands reversed. All right, so this can be about going slow. This can be, so Queen of Wands upright would be taking action, ready for anything, going forward, piercing like the road ahead. You know, it's that feeling of a victory, a win, a chariot ride. Like this is a yes card. When it's reversed like this, I think it's still a yes card. It's just a different pace than you had in mind. Things could be drawing out, you know, like a long and drawn out process that you'd rather just rip the Band-Aid off or break away or throw a bomb on it so that you can get it over with and heal quickly, right? A lot of times I have 4 placements in Libra, so I listen to the Libra as well. But a lot of times there can be an avoidance of action because we're trying to people please, or we're just trying to keep the emotions right here instead of experiencing the tumultuous feelings of other people involved. And so there could be an actual delay, a setback that's a blessing for you. You might be avoiding something or bracing against life in some area to try to negotiate your own feelings, right? And so what do you have to add as a layer there?
I think you covered it. That's beautiful. And I pulled patience for Libra. Yeah, this is the green corn moon. Yeah, and holding on to the dream. See that balloon she has? So Libras have gone through it a bit because we had that long long Venus retrograde. And Venus rules the sign of Libra, and Venus has been in Capricorn since back in, I think it went in November, but yeah, did that 40 days and 40 nights of retrograde, treading over old ground, bringing awareness. Some people had relationships and who have strong Libra placements. So, and it's still, now Venus is direct, but it's still treading over the old ground until early March. So, you know, having patience, you might not be exactly clear what actions need to be taken, but all will be revealed. Venus is going to go through a new cycle with Pluto, that purification cycle.
Yeah, I'm like, is that a good thing? I don't know. No, it is. It's a good thing. It's a good thing, but
it's a necessary thing.
It's a necessary thing, right? It's an unavoidable thing. So if you've been avoiding, or if you've had to have patience because of delays, know that this too shall pass. You know that everything is in a cycle and in a changing of guards for you, Libras. All right, after Libra comes Scorpio. Some might argue the best sign in the zodiac. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So I also have 4 placements in Scorpio, and they're 12th house placements. So this one I try to step out of and not project my own stuff into. So we're just asking for clarity and guidance for any Scorpios watching. What is it that our Scorpios need to hear for the weekend ahead? Something that really provides accurate insight for them to pay attention to. Okay. All right, for our Scorpios, we have the 8 of Cups. Now, this deck is what changed my mind about the 8 of Cups. In the traditional decks, I was reading them as walk away and don't look back. You know, this is a clear ending. In this deck, I'm like, what's on the magical path ahead? You know, and so it's the same message, but it's the attention to kind of the art and the detail and the vibe that changed my mind. And so Scorpios, you're really great at being the finishers. You're great at being the executors or the executors, or how, you know, like there's lots of ways to work with that. Scorpio rules the 8th house, right? Sex, death, taxes, the deepest human bonds, intimacy and exploration of what lies beneath. So Scorpios, if you are in an ending cycle, and can you shift your perspective a little bit to be curious, right? Staying curious about what's on the magical road ahead. We can get some anxiety, some depression when we feel like we're leaving something, especially as Scorpios who are so committed and so fiercely loyal and so fixed, right? Just like our Aquarius and Leos, we have that fixed thing. We go to the restaurant and we know what we're getting. You know what I mean? We are not really up to try the new thing. We are getting that thing. And so when we have an ending as Scorpios, sometimes it can feel really life crushing. And instead, this card offers the idea of, can we stay curious about what's next, so that any sadness, grief, endings that we're going through don't hold us down and depress us, and that we too can walk forward into this Jupiter-Uranus sextile that we're still under the magic of. That was a lot.
Love that, because the South Node is in Scorpio right now. And the
Right.
South Node is going to be going through your Sun, Moon arising some point over the next year and a half. And it can be a clearing. So there will be a need to say goodbye to some things. But when something leaves your life, it makes space for something new. And yeah, the void is the card I pulled. So think about the void moon, when it's the time to get internal, get quiet, and yeah, understand the meaning of what you're experiencing. So yeah, I think these two cards go together really well. I love that deck, Tiffany. On Amazon when we're done.
Right. We're gonna need to get one your way. So guys, that's another good little moment for me to remind you that if you don't know when the moon is void, of course, Wise Skies has a digital calendar. You can purchase it for $35 for the whole year, but the current month is always up on our digital calendar page at wiseskiescollective.com. So if you're wondering, when's the moon going void, of course, like that void card that Celeste just pulled, we tell you online, and that is a time when it's time to be quiet. It's not time. You can feel lethargic sometimes. You can feel like, is this a meeting? Is this like a Zoom meeting that should have been an email? You know what I mean? It's like that type of a feeling for me in some ways. And so if you can relax into it, if you know when it's there, you can really maximize your day for the best, most efficient use of your energy. All right, Scorps, let's look at our Sagittarius. What is it that our Sag friends need to hear for the weekend ahead? Something that really speaks to them, that just cuts to the chase, that helps them feel heard and seen by the universe here. Okay. This is so fun to read with you. All right, Sag, we get a Page of Pentacles. Right, so there can be kind of a return to innocence with your money, with your finances, with your job. You might find that you want to do a career that's more suiting to what you wanted to do when you grew up. You know, what did you always want to be when you grew up, type of a thing. So this return to innocence with not only just your finances and your career, but also your self-worth, right? I like to remind us that our self-worth is not our net worth. So if you could play a little bit with your money, what would you do? Are you in a place to be able to do that? If not, how can you be? Can you have some clarity and integrity with your financial spreadsheet and get back on track? I know you can. And the Page of Pentacles here is also a new responsibility that you might be having, financially speaking. New responsibility could be a payment of sorts. It could be an investment that you're making. And Sagittarius, the trick with this is knowing what to invest in, both your time and your money and your big heart, right?
Yeah, and Jupiter rules Sagittarius and is now in Pisces, and it loves being in Pisces. So stay open I see pages also as messengers. So stay open for messages of potential opportunities that can bring you abundance, Sagittarius. Yeah, and then I pulled Trust. Nice. Egg moon. Yeah. Yeah, trust is the ultimate Sagittarius word. And yeah, trust, believe, receive. Think about that, Sagittarius, with Jupiter like really making some moves and enjoying itself. You've had like 2 years of austerity where Jupiter was answering into Saturn signs, Saturn rule signs. So can you trust that the work you've done will bring rewards? Can you trust that you'll be getting some bounty? Yeah, trust, believe, receive is your message.
And Jupiter, right, is moving closely into conjunction with Neptune in April, and so some of you might be feeling that sense of big magic and leaning into faith, right, faith-based living, right, whatever that looks like. That's the message of trust. I heard this cool talk about the word trust. I'm going to have to go back and listen to it because it's while we're talking about it in the sense of just have patience, believe, receive, all of that version, there's another version of the word trust that is totally financially and monetarily related. And it was a really cool talk. I'm going to have to go back and find it.
Yeah. Well, a trust, a deed of trust. Isn't there a deed of trust? There's something, yeah, with it. Yeah. A legal term.
Right, exactly. Yes. Yeah. When you're setting up a trust, right? You're setting up an estate.
Yeah.
All right, let's clear for Capricorns. What is it that our Capricorn friends need to hear for the weekend ahead? Guys, Celeste is on the West Coast, so she got up super early for this reading. So give her
not early. I'm just a baby who likes to lay in the bed. I'm a Taurus.
All right. So let's clear for our Capricorns. What is it that they need to hear for the weekend ahead? All right. Okay, I get the Death card. This is one of the major arcana. So this is a big shifting, a big turning point for you. What needs to end? It's a clear message. What's over? What can you mulch into something better? You know, if you look in nature, death is used, right? All of the bones, all of the pain, all of the stories are used as nutrients. And I'm not trying to make death a happy thing for you. I just like to think about it as part of the regenerative cycle. And so this is a very clear message for you, Capricorn. What is it that you need to put a stop to? When is enough, right?
Letting go of what must die. Pluto has been in your sign doing its work. That life, death, rebirth, resurrection cycle since 2008. And yeah, so we have Mars and Venus in Capricorn right now. So this is giving you the push to take action, to bring the death, and then some, Venusian abundance may come from what needs to let die. And Venus and Mars are going to be going through a new Pluto cycle. So yeah, it's going to be in the next couple of weeks, Capricorn. Really stay present for what's your inner voice is telling you, what you're seeing outside of yourself about stay open for signs and signals around this concept of death. And yeah, power, another word for death and power. We are in sync with the universe. Another word for Pluto. Yeah, and Mars being your sign. So really owning your power, Capricorn. And yeah, how are you going to exert your power? How are you going to exert your power in merge the yin and the yang, the Mars and the Venus, the opposites, to like push and pull, to quiet power too. Think about that.
Yeah, good one. Right, because we tend to think of power as that word that's all dominating and domineering, but Venus is in your sign too. And so there can be that strength card, that femininity, that it's like that attraction rather than promotion, right? Mars is promotion, Venus is attraction, and where's that balance? Also, because Venus and Mars are together, we can't help but think about relationships, right? And so where are you maybe in some power struggles with relationships? Is there a balance of power that needs to be looked at? What needs to be looked at through the lens of relationships in terms of what needs to go? what needs to be rebalanced or a redistribution of power. Lots of themes for you guys to work with this weekend. All right. Woo, good one.
Yeah, I know. Yes. I love
Right.
how in sync we are with the cards.
It's just crazy, right? It's through different time zones, we can connect on Zoom and get a very similar message about the stars, the cosmos, the planets, the cards. All right, so I'm clearing now for Aquarius. What is it that our Aquarius friends need to hear? Spent a lot of time on the phone with one of my very best Aquarius friends yesterday. And I'm just gonna pick up those cards that fell. All right, so you get two because two fell out. We got a Temperance and a Page of Swords. Temperance this is about just being honest about what you might have been in excess about. Where have you cheated a little? You know, where have you gone back to an old pattern and pretended like it wasn't? You know what I mean? Like where do you need to reel it in? What has been in excess and it's just time to be honest about it? Where do you need to, when I get the Temperance card in my readings, it can be overeating, over drinking, overindulgence, overworking, overthinking. It's too much of something. You got to take it back a notch. And I just feel like because this card fell out with it, you might not have been being honest or real with yourself about it. And so I have a friend, instead of a diet, she goes on a live it. So you can refrain some things. Have you been having too many chocolate squares or an ice cream after dinner? Have you been scrolling and obsessing and trying to and finding something that is letting your mind go crazy with? Where can you have a little dose of being real with yourself on something that you've just got to cut out, right? Take a step back.
Yeah, I love that. And we just switched into Pisces season like 5 months ago. So yeah, I love that. A last two cards to like say goodbye to Aquarius season for
right.
Aquarius. And
you said 5 months. I think you meant 5 minutes, right? Like we just shifted.
5 minutes ago, yeah. The sun went into Pisces.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm glad you're here. And I pulled Surrender. How interesting. You've got the Temperance card and I've got the Surrender, like the hanged man, and recognizing where you have overindulged or what have you, and understanding that you have appetites and things and just acknowledging them, but bringing some balance back into your life.
So perfect. It's so dead on. All right, let's clear now for Pisces, our patient Pisces who always wait, or maybe they fast forward to the very end. I don't know, but thank you, Pisces, for being here with us. Let's see what's in store for the cosmic weekend ahead for you guys. Just taking a good deep shuffle, really mixing things up, clearing for Pisces. What is it that our Pisces need to hear that just feels like spiritual guidance? From above. All right, we get the full card. So this is not only the first card of the major arcana, but the first card of all of the tarot. It's 0. It's that quartz crystal feeling. This is one of my favorite cards in the deck because it amplifies that that childlike wonder, that ability to leap without looking, that ability to just kind of have a case of the screw-its and go forward. Don't care what anybody thinks. This is what I have with me, and I'm going on my journey. This is, it takes courage and bravery. It does not require planning right now, you know? So one of the stories I tell with the full card is I had a job for a really long time that gave me a very small raise. And I had, my dad said, hey, maybe you've been in the wrong job for a long time. And so I didn't think it through and I went in and I quit the next day, right? That's the full card. That's just going for it. Just realizing this ain't working and I'm ready to do something else. The full card is I've always wanted to go to Scotland and I'm buy a plane ticket and I just go. I don't think about it, right? So the full card is a lack of planning is requires faith, courage, bravery, and that childlike innocence, that childlike wonder, that just kind of falling in love with life again is what it feels like to me. If it was reversed, we might have said something like, don't be foolish, be more cautious, but it wasn't, Pisces. So where can you just have that return to innocence this weekend? What do you want to play with, you know?
Yeah, and Jupiter is the traditional ruler of Pisces, and it is sextile Uranus. So like, and Uranus is the Fool card. The astrological correspondence to the Fool card is the planet Uranus. So yeah, maybe take some risks.
Yeah.
Ask
Right.
out a sexy stranger, connect eyes or something, assuming you're single.
Right.
I'm not suggesting anything untoward. Okay. Yeah, reach out to, network with someone who you admire. Yeah. Okay. You may get a really positive response. Okay. So these are opposites. So I got this discernment. So I think paired with the Fool card, it's like, be discerning about the risk you're taking. Have a little calculated, take a minute to look before you leap. But don't miss out on this beautiful Jupiter sextile Uranus.
And I would say, I would add to that, trust yourself. You are discerning, Pisces. We trust you. So this can also be connecting with your inner child to trust your adult self, that you are trusting, that you are discerning, that you are making good decisions. And it is okay to play a little bit, it's okay to connect. Okay, so Celeste, I didn't tell you this, but at the end, I usually do one more card as a universal card.
Okay.
For that one person out there that didn't connect with any information. That one person that was like, nah, none of that fit me, right? So this is for you. And so we're going to go through and get a universal card for everybody watching Free Tarot Friday and just see what is it that we can all learn from, a universal message of clarity and guidance for the weekend ahead, something we can all tap into and pay attention to. We get the Three of Pentacles. It happens to be reversed here. All right, so this is, I think, mimics that Pisces message of that balance of where are you working too hard at something? Who's working harder at this thing? What have you concentrated on and lost your creativity around? Where has something become unfun? And do you want to reinvigorate that or not? I could give you another experience in my life. Like when I was riding horses were fun as long as I was doing it and I was showing and it was my thing. But when I tried to make a business out of it and teach other people, it became unfun and it soured me. And I needed to take a step back and remember that that was just for me, right? And so maybe there's something in your life like that where you have made your creative thing into a job. Maybe you're an artist and you opened an Etsy store and now you have no creativity at all, right? That could be the case. Maybe you're in business and you turn your spreadsheet, that kind of quote unquote boring analytical thing, into a beautiful work of art. So working with those polar opposites could be useful for all of us.
Yeah, and I see that also as there may be potential disharmony in some kind of partnership or relationship, or even like a triangulation of three or more people with and how can you set this card, like literally leapt out, boundaries, healthy boundaries with other people, Pisces. Yeah.
Well, universal card, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. It's Pisces season.
Yeah.
And Pisces can be very porous, this watery energy, and setting boundaries can be really helpful with the Pisces. Like as a reminder, you may come up and face things, or maybe a mirror this next month where you see something where you should set some healthy boundaries. To reestablish, your sense of self and protecting yourself. Yeah.
Awesome.
Sorry. All of us need to
get this message.
All of us need to set healthy boundaries in this Pisces season.
Right, exactly. And happy birthday to all the Pisces out there. Today starts your season. Okay, so that has been so much fun. Guys, again, I'm Tiffany with Wise Skies, wiseskiescollective.com. You can book one-on-one counseling sessions with us. grab our digital astrology tool or join our membership for $22 a month. In our membership, we do metaphysical classes and trainings and special readings for our members. So Celeste is coming to lead a class in our membership in April with one of the eclipses. And I just wanted to thank her. Make sure you go to her Instagram, Astrology by Celeste, or her website, astrologybyceleste.com. I'm going to put a link that gives us, our Wise Skies viewers, a discount for her Moon Mastery class. And is there anything else that you want to share, Celeste, with us?
Yeah, I would love to have some of the Wise Guys community join in Moon Mastery to deepen the connection with yourself. I call it a self-discovery tool, and learning how to manifest with more ease with the moon cycles and new ways. So I would love it if you joined me. So thank you, Tiffany. It's been so much fun. What a great way to start a day.
Right. Well, thank you for joining us, Celeste. And until next time, guys, have a great weekend and namaste.